Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's a beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we got another pirate in the house. We're going to be talking about a little bit about real estate, a little bit about lifestyle, a little bit about nerding out and tech, also loving people and enjoying a good conversation. Bobby, welcome to the Pirate Broadcast. Thank you for being a pirate today and joining me on this journey that I'm taking for interesting people doing interesting things.
Hey, Russ, man. Thank you for having me, brother.
You know, it's been a minute since we saw each other. I was in Houston, and we go back like 5-6 years at least.
Yes.
And you have done so much. You're like just a master of your industry and some of the things that you've accomplished. And it's just awe-inspiring to watch and see you continue to grow. So share with us what you're doing right now and how you got there.
Wow. So I'm the CEO, founder of DOS. People may say, well, Bobby, what is DOS? DOS is a digital real estate marketplace that connects all the dots and makes it feels like you have a realtor in your pocket.
Yeah.
Well, in other words, people will be able to think Alexa, but exclusively for real estate, where you could pull out your mobile device, go to your desktop, and ask any question about any property to get accurate, easy, and instant answers. How all this started was pretty interesting. Back in 2011, I saw IBM Watson playing the two winningest players on Jeopardy.
Yes.
Rest in peace to Alex,
yes.
By the way. And when I saw this intelligent assistant playing these two guys and won, I was like, wow, that's interesting. But then a few months later, Apple introduced the world to Siri.
Yeah.
And I was an early adopter, and I had my iPhone, and I still have my iPhone, just got the new version. And when I was able to talk to it, the idea hit in my head was like, what if we could do this for real estate? What if I could pull my phone out and ask these questions? Hey, DOS, show me properties for sale in Arizona that's between $300,000 and $400,000 in this neighborhood with natural light wood floors and a cul-de-sac with an in-ground pool and zone to exemplary middle schools. And it pulls up, and I could get away from the long rectangular graphical user interfaces that I see on the other search sites, and input an MLS number, input an address, click these boxes. We wanted to get away from clicking boxes with pre-filtered results.
Yeah.
But make searching for homes and getting data, we're able to humanize it and mobilize it like it's never been done before. And that's the goal we've been obsessed with at DOS.
Well, I know that you have been a master and you've been an anchor in Houston for years and doing some great work in training and being involved in the real estate industry. And just the idea, just popping off that idea and thinking, hey, DOS, find me a home.
Exactly.
and just being able to make those connections and make those introductions. And I know from a tech background, application development isn't necessarily the easiest process to go through. Because as soon as you get it to a certain level, then all of a sudden there's some new features, or there's a new code that you can actually apply. So has that been, it's a journey, really. It's a journey is what it's about. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And so where are you in the path of your imagination versus reality?
Yeah. So great question. Back in 2017, it took us just short of a year in 2017, and we built it out. And next thing you know, we launched it. We wanted to see market fit, right? Mm-hmm. That's in tech world. We wanted to understand that would people use this, right? And it was stratospheric. it was amazing. We launched it for 45 days, a month and a half, and people were downloading it like crazy. It scared the industry. It scared people, but at the same time, uh, um, it was refreshing,
Yeah.
and it was entertaining, and it was informative, which is the combination of what we want with it, to be
Yeah.
able to, wow people and allow them to get information. But so we launched that for 45 days and we learned a lot from it, which is exactly the formula and what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And then we brought it down, and then we sat back and we really went back into the laboratory and started saying, okay, how can we make this thing better? What did we learn? What was horrible? And that's the process.
Yeah.
So fast speed forward, what has happened is the business model side has evolved. Technology since 2017 has improved. Data has improved. New companies have come on the scene that provides more data and hyper local data. And so now we started building. I brought in 2 whiz kids from IBM Watson that used to work there. And so here it is I see it on IBM Watson, and I'm fortunate enough to get 2 guys from IBM Watson. I'm extremely lucky.
Oh,
And
man.
and then next thing you know, these guys come on board and they're like, yeah, we're tearing all that shit down and we're starting over. Right. So,
Well, and sometimes you have to, after the experiment has taken place, you got a lot of feedback. You got,
yes,
okay, and then sometimes the feedback doesn't fit the tech that you have in place.
exactly.
And it sounds like that might be the case, because I've invested in, startups and some of these applications and things like that, and invested a lot of time and effort and energy in some of these experiments that end up not necessarily going as far as you want them to. However, there's so much feedback, and when you're looking at an industry like real estate, I remember when Zillow came out and kind of what a disruption that was to a lot of brokers. And, people are thinking, okay, oh, woe is me. And what it's actually done is provide more tools to the realtors that are out there, making sure that they can help people find their ideal
Exactly.
location.
It's that initial knee jerk reaction of anybody. Oh, what's about to happen, right? And that's what we experienced
Yeah.
when we initially launched it. But to be able to come back out now with a more comprehensive solution that actually just, in comparison to the first development, it's night and day. Now we're able to infuse image recognition. We're able to really have the machine learning component, a lot of hyper local data, like, show me a quiet street, and again, natural light for it's so much data locked into pictures that none of our competitors really use image recognition to read and pull data out of the pictures. Well, what that does for us and for our consumers that are using DOS, it gives additional features and search criteria that allows that search to feel more human, as though you're there or actually talking to a realtor.
Have you started utilizing geocoding or anything like, neighborhoods like you mentioned, give me a quiet street?
Yep.
So there's some, auditory feedback, there's visual feedback, and, now with Siri and,
Exactly.
all of the other voice activated services.
Exactly. Like, because, and a lot of those intelligent assistants don't necessarily use the technologies that we're using.
Yeah.
They're generalist. DOS is a domain specific intelligent assistant. So even if you're in an area and you say, hey, DOS, tell me about this neighborhood.
Yeah.
It sees your location. And okay, you used to live in Houston. Okay, he's in River Oaks.
Yeah.
Without having to say River Oaks. Okay, he's in River Oaks. River Oaks was, a neighborhood that was established in 1938 by a gentleman, blah, blah, blah. It kicked off with, and it will give you that history. and so, again, the things that
blows my mind, by the way, Bobby.
Yeah. I mean, the things that a human just doesn't have the capacity to do, right? And or retrieve. And so if I'm trying to make the best educated decision right now, and in a market that's like right now, there's shortage of inventory, it's a race, and whoever can do the due diligence the fastest is going to be the winner of that property.
Yeah. Well, and I know that you know, time is money, especially when houses come on the market and it's a challenged market. Let's just say inventory is low. You know, you really have to be able to quickly decide where the houses are going to be that you're going to show your client. You know, identify for yourself, even, you know, if you're just out there shopping and looking for opportunities. And also, you know, even for people selling homes, you know, there's an opportunity where you can actually maybe check out the market before you decide to pull the trigger on that. I would have to guess
Exactly.
that that's a tool.
Exactly. And you're right. And even to add to that, Russ, you know, we wanted to really live up to the promise of technology. And I'm glad to hear about your background. Actually, here it is. I didn't know that about you, but I know now. But we wanted to live up to the promise of technology, which was two things.
Yeah.
And you just said one of them, which is to save people time and money.
Yeah.
And so we're with DOS, if our goal is to automate that process. If you ever ordered a pizza from Domino's Pizza and you can track that pizza from your pizza is being made, your pizza has just been boxed and now it's on the way, and you can see it all the way, your pizza will be there in 3 minutes. Why can't we do that? Why hadn't anybody done that with the real estate transaction?
Yeah.
It is the most stressful experience, even if it goes perfect.
Yeah.
It's stressful as hell. But
Yeah.
also, I want you to think about, do you know what Uber did for everybody? When you used to order a cab and you just have to stand there and wait, and you didn't know how close it was. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to be there in 5. Oh my gosh. Oh my. But you know what they did? They get the car and now they just show you it's turning, it's coming. And you know what that does for you now? Because psychologically, you could see it on its way.
Yeah.
It that user interface was profound, and it's nothing more than a GPS system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with DOS, how we're tracking, saying, hey, your appraisal just been done, blah blah blah. It shows you where you're at, and because we're able to automate that, Russ, we lower the cost to buy and sell homes. We
Yeah.
only charge sellers a 1% listing fee and provide above standard marketing for that property. And for buyers, we give them a 1% rebate to lower their closing costs. And that's why our mission statement is to develop the best technology to make homeownership in America more affordable.
Yeah. Well, hats off to you for doing this and putting the, because I understand what it takes to create something from nothing,
Yes.
from your imagination and bring it to fruition. And I've created a lot of things, Bobby, that, you know, it's like really great stuff until you go to sell it. And so you have to, you know, it's like, yeah, I love your idea, but I'm not willing to pay for it. So
Exactly.
that's the truth in the theory. And also the thing about what you're doing right now that I love and just really it excites me is for more people in more diverse markets to be able to identify when an opportunity pops up, and actually somebody, you know, because buying a home, like you said, is one of the most stressful things in the world.
Yes.
I've, you know, been in and out of work. You know, I grew up in commercial construction. I've built homes. I've, you know, had property. I've developed property, and these things are not necessarily an easy process. So anything you could do from the tech side to kind of break that out and remove the mystery out of it, I guess, is the best way of putting it, and just make it plain and simple and easy to access is going to
Yeah.
provide a roadmap for individuals that had never considered buying a home in the past an opportunity.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Half the battle these days, if we, the continuous amount, the amount of data that goes into Google every day, just like it's so much data. How do I even have the discernment to decide what's true or not if I'm a consumer? You know, but if I could pick up my phone or go to my device and say, hey, DOS, can you tell me the difference between a conventional loan and a FHA? Right? How much would I have to put down?
Yeah.
What are the rates today?
Yeah.
Right? And to be able to get that information without having to scroll through Google and say which is the most what's accurate, who do I believe, and
Yeah.
then I can look on the dates of it. Oh, that was in 2016. That can't
Yeah.
be true in 2020, right? Or maybe not. But but to be able to give people actionable information and be able to mobilize it in a different way. So you're right, people can be more educated in an unbiased way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The other thing about it that it just kind of struck me was the idea that this also affords you the opportunity to train individuals in the real estate market in
Hmm.
a slightly different way. And it's
Yeah.
an evolution. It's much like Uber has disrupted, cabs
Yes.
and transportation.
Yeah.
You are disrupting the real estate industry in the same kind of way. And it's really, if you look at how AI and intelligent machine learning and those types of technologies, all of that should be used first to remove the mundane,
That's it.
you know, the minutia from our lives. Let's
Exactly.
eliminate that so we don't have to think about how do I calculate this long formula out into an actual
Exactly.
result. And so I really
Exactly.
applaud you for doing that. And the idea is that all of a sudden we have tools at our disposal that we can quickly make decisions and move forward and make a difference in the world. So
And you're exactly right. I mean, you're right. You said it earlier. Time is money, and then, but also time, could be the difference between you getting that dream home that you wanted and somebody else beating you to it.
uh-huh.
And so we want to assist people, of all walks of life with the tools that they can have in the palm of their hand,
Yeah.
that can inform them like never before done at the edge of their voice. And soon later on in 2021, after we launch, even Spanish, even Mandarin, even Yoruba, when you start talking about speaking in your native language, because when you deal with people where English is a second language, it's
Yeah.
not that they can't speak English; they just comprehend better in their native tongue. And so we have to make this tool very humanistic and have empathy and really take this I'm going to explain it to you like a fifth grader type approach
Mhm.
to make sure that people, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hats off to you. And
Oh,
and I
okay.
and I support you. I want to go back. You've been in the market. You've been a big mover in the industry, and you've been training people. You put out more quality products than most people that I know. And I just, you've somebody Howard Kaufman says, "How did you get connected with Brian Tracy?" And
Wow, so years ago, I wrote some books
uh-huh,
and also wanted to have the opportunity. He had an opportunity to do a co-author, so
uh-huh,
I hired an agent out of Florida, and they were putting together a team of potential authors to work with Brian in writing a piece called "The Ultimate Success Guide." And at that time, um, I submitted my piece, and I was selected to be one of the authors, which was pretty cool.
yeah.
And the title of my chapter was "Evolve or Die," because that was in '08 when we were dealing with the recession. And so what a great title, that of evolving or die. And I just talked about my experience and what it felt like
Yeah.
going through being somebody who had $1 million house in a Galleria,
Uh-huh.
with all the toys, and it was like somebody just walked up and turned the lights off to my life financially.
Yeah.
And so I had to evolve or pretty much die. And that, truth be told, is where I started my whole journey of progressive real estate. What's the future going to look like? But that's how I came in contact with Brian Tracy, and that book went bestseller.
Yeah.
And that it was a pretty exciting moment.
That's an awesome story. I don't know if you know this, but I moved to I was actually working for an organization in 2010, and when they I worked my way up the corporate ladder, and then the corporate office happened to be in Houston. I was in Seattle, and that's when I arrived in Houston. They paid for me to move there. My two sons followed me down, set up shop, getting all involved. Lived right off Washington, Studemont there.
Got it.
And, a good life and everything looking good. And 6 months later, a new CEO came in the organization and changed the structure, and my job was eliminated.
Wow.
So that's when, if you recall, I think we met through Main Street Chamber.
Yes.
So I just started networking my butt off.
Yes.
And meeting and greeting and doing whatever I could to make things happen. And as you know, the market wasn't exactly, user friendly at that point in time.
I like that, user friendly. Yeah.
And so I had to hustle a lot. And so it took me a little while to get my feet under me. And so it's really a heartwarming story when you have to evolve or die.
Yes.
And it's really true. And it's like, okay, we didn't wake up to be average. We woke up to be above average.
Yes.
Average is way too crowded, like you said before the show.
Yeah. And if I had to actually, Russell, and if I had to rewrite that chapter today, I would put the word continuously evolve.
Well, and I look at life as chapters in the book of life.
Yes.
Like it's been, and I've gone through several chapters and not all happy chapters either.
Yes.
And so we really have to appreciate what we have, friendship like you and knowing people that can actually understand and appreciate what you're going through is a huge monumental push, and being able to tell your story and share your message is also key to really thriving, I think. And having that safety feature of, knowing who can you contact and reach out to and talk about ideas that may not be safe in all areas of the world. Some of those people are looking at you like, exactly. Bobby's doing it again.
Exactly.
And so how do you handle and how do you manage through that? And how do you navigate those days where you're thinking and stretching your imagination and seeing how far you can push the boundaries? How do you navigate through that?
You asked that question, and I'm reminded by a statement my military father said, who was a high-ranking officer in the military. And I was always this kid who I was a 15, 16, 18-year-old why. I never shook the 4-year-old why question, right? And so, and the way I would talk, I was really like, from Alabama, but I was just like, and my dad said, hey, I need you to understand something. You're a smart kid. But, rocket scientists, when they talk, only other rocket scientists can understand them. You need to talk like a truck driver. Everybody can understand that guy, including the rocket scientists.
Yeah.
And so what he was saying to me is that the task is yours to be understood, that nobody owes it to you to understand you. The task is yours to be understood. I say all that to come full circle back to, there has been a ton of great ideas, but a lot of times the guys who have these ideas are so brainy and smart to where their messaging is anorexic.
That's a great way of putting it. I love the way you describe it.
Right. What I actually had to learn, and I think when DOS even itself really started getting traction, is that we had to figure out, how do we explain this thing to where the average Joe and Jane can get it?
Yeah.
Because we were losing people. And so, great idea, but the messaging wasn't. So it took a lot of, sitting down, having conversations and watching a ton of Steve Jobs, who's a gifted genius at 1,000 songs in your pocket. And I'm like, it's like having a realtor in your pocket, so it's like, all of these ideas and looking back at history and saying, how did these awesome technologies get adopted? Like, What were the people saying? So I had to go back, being again the nerd I am, and I was like, I got to research how and why did these phenomenons happen, and people adopted stuff that they've never seen before, and a lot of it had to do with timing, like even the pandemic. I mean, think about it, bro. QR codes were dead. Now that's all you see in restaurants for menus. Think about it.
Yeah,
Like
no
QR
kidding.
codes were on the deathbed, and now all of a sudden you go in the restaurant and it says scan for the menu, and it just brought them back.
And then you have a menu on your phone,
just like that,
yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
so it's the universe sometimes, most of the time, and then, but that part that we can control is trying to figure out how do I articulate this in a very simple and stupid way.
Yeah.
And that was our challenge.
Basic.
Yeah.
I really love that idea, and I love that conversation around, because I suffer from that, being the marketing nerd that I am, and also, the creative person that I love to imagine I am, is this idea that some people don't really get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, my messaging is they're anorexic. and on the opposite side, it's like less is more.
Yes.
If you can say it in one, like music in your pocket,
Yes.
like it's simple, it's clean, it's concise, it's very clear.
Exactly.
And if you can break it down to the simple common denominator of its essence, then that's when you can make the magic happen in messaging. So,
and that's when just that idea of a statement, and it makes people say, I get that. And then it's just like Simon Sinek says, you have to go from the what to the how to the why.
Yeah.
And so people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Right. And so it's like having 1,000 songs in your pocket, and you don't necessarily get to the how you get 1,000 songs in your pocket, Steve. I'm glad you asked, right? And it just evolves and it grows, but you got to get that simple and stupid statement that makes people say, aha.
It's like ask open-ended questions.
Yes.
Allow the conversation to take place and evolve where it's going to go. Because this is why I love the Pirate Broadcast and the conversations like this is like, we never know what's going to take place when we allow ourselves to open up the dialogue. Oh, yeah. And I really think, more than any other time in history, we need to continue to open up the dialogue, have conversations, find out where the common thread is, pull on that thread, find out what we can do together, and make sure that we make it matter.
That's very true.
Bobby, it's so important, and I'm so glad that you had the opportunity to join me today on the Pirate Broadcast. And I'm doing some work in Houston today, actually. The API Petroleum Institute has a big event. I'm live streaming that today and producing that show. And I know the real estate market is going to continue to grow and evolve. And if there's anything I can do to help you out and move that along, let me know. Be more than happy to have that conversation with you.
Hey,
I just really appreciate all the time and effort and energy. And I understand what it takes to put stuff out into the world.
Hey, it's poetry. You feel real sensitive and vulnerable about it because you want people to love it as you did and as you envisioned. And so, thank you so much, man, for having me. And greatly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you again. Let's grab a beer or coffee the next time you're in Houston.
Absolutely. I want to just give a shout out to some of the individuals that have joined us here today. Tapas, thank you. Have a good day. Take care. Hyatt, he's passing through. Charles is here. Good stuff, Russ. Ange is here. Angie, good morning, y'all. Nick says, real estate scares me. Well, talk to Bobby. He makes it easy. He makes it simple. So, and Angie says, human connection is amazing.
That's cool.
Gabriel's here. Great conversation, by the way, Russ. Howard says, how did you get to connected with Brian Tracy?
Got it.
So, Howard's an entrepreneur here in Phoenix that has done a great product line with Oral. It's a CBD based organic, just amazing mouthwash, mouth care system. Great conversation. Warren says, hello, you guys are some of the self-declared nerds. I'm telling you both, this info is needed.
That's cool.
So Bobby on messaging and articulation, meaningful. So you got a fan base here already, Bobby.
That's
so
cool.
Next time I'm in town, I'll definitely look you up, connect, and make sure that we make time to sit down and join coffee or a beer. Sounds really good.
So. Hey, I'm an IPA guy, brother. So, I'm looking forward to introducing you.
Love it. Well, keep swinging for the fences, and we'll see you when I get to town. And as always, everyone, like, comment, and share. This is important that we continue to pursue this show. We're coming up on 300 episodes, and I know there's a lot of pirates out there in the pirate community that enjoy the conversation. Don't always get to join live. However, the podcast, the transcription, the show it can all be found on russjohns.com. So go there and also leave a comment on Apple or iTunes or anything like that to help out, and subscribe on YouTube. Go over there and subscribe on YouTube as well. So help grow the community. So Bobby, all the best in the world. Thank you, and wishing you all the best in your adventures going forward, and look forward to the next time we can connect in person.
You got it, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, and as everyone knows, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. So you enjoy the day. Take care. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate.